Так, ребят, всем привет. Фархад Курбанов прилетел в Астану, и мы, пользуясь этим шансом, решили записать несколько подкастов здесь, в столице. И нашим гостем в сегодняшнем подкасте становится защитник столичного Бориса Алекс Грант. Алекс, hi.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
So, how do you do? How's the injury? How long it will be to recover?
It's going all right. It's not too painful anymore. It should be. The bone is apparently supposed to be fully recovered in 3 months from the day of operation. So no limitations after that. It's not supposed to cause any issues long term. So it's nice to have the surgery over with and just start the rehab process.
Is it the toughest season for you in your professional career? You wait for so long to get back on the ice, and then you came back and like 2-3 games, and then get injured back again.
Yeah, it's just I over my 15 years of playing pro, I've been pretty fortunate. So to say that it is the most unfortunate season is without a doubt. It's never really happened before in my pro career, so it's been a bit of an adjustment, but it's part of the game, it's part of the business. It's just unfortunate that it happens back to back, 2 injuries in the same season, but I'll get recovered and be ready to go.
How do you handle this mentally? Because it's obviously tough physically, but it's mentally tough too.
Yeah, it's been a long season, but I mean, it's like I said, these things are just part of the job. So, I mean, it doesn't help to sit there and dwell on it and think everything is against you and all that. But like once I get to a certain point where I can start training and rehabbing this, and that's what my focus is on, is getting this stronger, my wrist stronger, my hand stronger, and then just getting in the best shape I can possibly get in for next season.
So I went through the hernia. It was in L4, L5, L5, S1, and it was a hell. And it took me for like 4 or 5 years, not 3 or 4 years to recover. It took you 3 or 4 months to recover and get on the ice. You were 100% recovered, or there was some, or wasn't?
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, it feels great now. You got to stay on top of it, keep building more strength and all that in the area. But no, I don't think it's gonna be an issue going forward. And I'm pretty, I've, like, when I came back, I was 5 games I had played, and it was, I mean, after just getting over the mental hurdle, the first game back, maybe the second game back, then after that, it was, it wasn't even a thought. So, that was, it was a good peace of mind to at least get those those games in, to know that was history. Did you end up having surgery on yours?
No, I didn't. I don't know why actually, but I was thinking, like, if I'm doing the surgery, it's going to worsen, and I had that mental block, like, this is your spine and or your nerves going through it, and I was like thinking, if something go wrong, I'll be crippled, right? And mentally I was going through the tough times, like it was hard to digest, but then it was like strengthening your core. I mean, you already know it, how
Yeah,
the
exactly.
massages, pull, core strengths, and now I feel good.
It's good. Yeah. No, I mean, just I did all my rehab at Be Unlimited, and it was just like, the thought of surgery wasn't even really a question. It's just the amount they know now, and just like the technology they have to rehab just makes so much more sense, and then you don't have to deal with basically.
You mentioned
Going
Be
under the
Unlimited.
knife.
You mentioned Be Unlimited with Coach Renat, right? He left to basketball club. How did you guys miss him right now?
Well, I wasn't here when he was with the team, but no, he was great to work with at the clinic, and he's a great resource to have in the city for the players.
So he didn't live to another team. He just went to the clinic.
No, there were Coach Rinat,
Yeah, I know.
who's working with the team, and right now he's working with the basketball team. So he is in the Unlimited, and also he is in the basketball team.
Yeah,
So pro players. I don't know whether or not you read the press conferences, post-match press conferences, but almost on every press conference, coach said like, we miss Grant because our power play, because he's our top defenseman, and our power play, but based on his abilities to strike from a blue line.
Yeah.
And we remember this 4 goals game against Admiral last season, and it's a record, and it was like madness.
Yeah, it felt like you was invincible. Like every shot it goes to the net. How did you feel?
Yeah. No, I felt that same way. It was kind of like an out of body experience. That by the time we got to the 4th one, I didn't know what was going on, but it was just pucks kept coming to me, kept shooting, and didn't matter where it went in the net. It was just found a way in, and it's. Hopefully it'll happen again, but I would not be surprised if it doesn't. But it was pretty cool, but it was amazing just how much the fans loved it. Like it was for a while after that. Anywhere I went, it was just people talking to me about the poker.
Never happened before actually. I mean, the poker from defenseman never happened before in KHL. You're the first guy. You're in the history of KHL right now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
But I should say that Alex also in the history of NHL as well, because
Really?
when he started his NHL career, he was called up to Anaheim and scored with his first shot, and then in the next game he scored his second goal with his second shot. So right now he's probably the defenseman who's having 100% of his shot, which became goals in the league. Like he has two shots, and it came up with 2 goals.
But you didn't continue with that team, right?
No, well, like it was funny after that second game, back-to-back goals. I was like, I might be here another couple of weeks. Maybe we'll see what happens. Hopefully things keep going well. But it was just like called in the next day, and it's like, you're going back to the American League. But that's just the way it works. It's part of the business. There was guys getting healthy in the NHL, and they're coming off like the injured reserve, and it's just they're not going to send a regular down. So it's just the way it works.
But Anaheim were still like they won like 5-6 years prior to that. They won a cup, and they were still like big team with Getzlaff, with Solani, with Perry in the lineup, right?
Yeah, they had a lot of stars. It's pretty cool. Like you said, all those names. I think Saku Koivu was there. He was there as well. And I don't know. There were a lot of big names, and it was a pretty cool experience. It was unbelievable to be part of even for a few weeks.
I just read this book by Mr. Bork, and he said like a lot of stories about how he constructed this team. He called Dustin Penner, he called Francois Beauchemin, and he said we were tough. And I remember this year they beat Ottawa in finals, and they had really like good team. We followed Anaheim and all these teams because of the Russian players who used to play in NHL. Like you remember in Anaheim, Fedorov, Chistov, and Tampa Bay had a lot of Russian guys. So like when I was searching information about you and elite prospects and Wikipedia, and it was fun fact like 2 shots and 2 goals.
What age you was when you played those games?
24. Yeah, that was the first call up was at 24. Yeah.
Was you kind of shocked when you see all these stars? Because like John mentioned, it's all big names and you're playing with them, or it was like fully focused on yourself?
No, it was eye opening for sure. The first game was against San Jose, and I remember lining up against Brent Burns off the first draw. He was playing forward then. He's kind of back and forth all the time, but he was playing forward this game with Joe Thornton. That was like the first. That was my first shift, and I mean, I'm a pretty big guy, but I lined up against these guys, and I couldn't believe the size of them. And then just like the power, and I don't know, it was eye opening for sure. You know, it made you realize how hard that league is and how hard it is to stay there, because they're just, a lot of them are different animals, like how good they are, how big they are. It's just unbelievable.
Well, Joe Thornton, Jumbo Joe, right? He played really long time, and being able to compete at this level for such a long time, I mean, what do you have to do with your body? Like what diet, I mean, to being able to compete on highest level for so long?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he did, but he did something right. I mean, some of those guys that can play that long at that level, they obviously have unbelievable genetics, but they would be on top of everything, from recovery to the way they train in the summers, the way they eat, everything, like every small detail that goes into it. They would be on top of it. But then you look at other guys that are like that Phil Kessel, who just, what did he play, 800 and some games in a row, and I don't know him at all, but just from what you hear, doesn't really sound like he's on top of everything professionally wise. But you know, he's done something right, and to play that many games in a row is outrageous.
And what about Jagr? He's still playing.
Yeah.
Have you ever played against him?
No.
I mean, he's 52 or 53, and he's still playing.
But let's not forget, he's not playing in NHL or KHL, right? He's playing in his own club.
Yeah, but he played in 42, and his last NHL game in 42 in Florida, I believe. I mean, and he said that he was, when he was a young kid, he used to work on the farm, like sunsets, sundown, and he's...
Well, I used to work on a farm. It didn't work out to me. I was raising tobacco 1 year.
Well, tell us about your childhood. You born in a city with a very unuseful name, like Antigonish.
Антигонишь, yeah.
And
Антигонишь. You say it fast, kind of.
yeah, Антигонишь. And I read that when you were born, it was like 20K population, 1,000 population, and right now it's less than 5,000 population. So yeah, less.
Yeah, I didn't realize that when I was born, that the population was that high, because I mean it's like a university town, so it all depends on the time of year, but it kind of always fluctuates. But I thought it would be around 10,000 now, but it was a decent sized school, and like I said, depending on time of year, the town could be, you know, quite active, or quiet, depending. But it's a small town. It's beautiful in the summer, and then in the winter it has that university, and that kind of, you know, drives the town.
So is it stereotypically forest, snow, mountains, or it's like urban?
It's not. There's not really mountains. The winter it's snowy and fairly cold, but not, you know, it would definitely be warmer than it gets here at times, from what I've experienced. But lots of snow, and then once June, middle of June, July, August roll around, it's quite warm, 25, 30 degrees. So it's near the ocean, so it's beautiful in the summer, and a great place to spend a few months.
We've talked about it before, but is there any other popular persons from the city you know? We've heard about one popular actress.
Well, now
Yeah, you mentioned that, I don't know.
But now when you mentioned that it has a big university and it is a student town, I guess it's all understood right now, because when you're a student, you're going wild.
Yeah, right.
You do things.
Yeah, but there's a few, like hockey players. Paul McLean, who played in the NHL for a while, he's coaching the NHL. He won the Jack Adams a few years ago. Craig McDonald, Dennis Bonvie both played some games in the NHL, and Dennis was just inducted into the AHL Hall of Fame a couple days ago. So the fans here would have loved him. He was, you could look up his videos. He's just unbelievable fighter, and yeah, he played a lot of games, spent a lot of time in the penalty box. But both those guys had great careers.
What do you think now in both major leagues? I mean, NHL, KHL, the fighters are getting like discriminated, I guess. It's not the appropriate word, but now nobody fights, and if you're starting the fight, you getting the consequences, right? Is it good or not? I mean, maybe excitement-wise.
Yeah, I think there's just been so much, research and things that have gone into it, and there, in my opinion, I guess there will always be a place in for fighting in the major leagues, like in NHL and KHL. I don't think you necessarily need it in junior or any of those age groups, but it's kind of just polices the game a bit. But like you've seen over the years, there's just so many injuries and so many head injuries that you guys are looking to avoid, that you want for long-term health. But at the same time, it makes the game overall not as greasy, as you say. Like, there's not people taking advantage of guys out there or things like that, because that there's still a chance that you're going to have to fight, and there's a lot of guys that have no interest in that at all. So they're gonna play a little bit safer.
Tell us about AHL. How tough is were to travel by the buses, because I think there is not a lot of avia, and so people are not flying. People just driving by bus, right?
Yeah. For the most part, on the Eastern Division conference, it's mostly all bus. That's where I spent the most of my career, in the American League. Yeah, that was tough. I mean, the toughest part about that is that you're playing, at the time, I was always playing like 3 games in a weekend. Basically, it'll be like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Whoa. And then you're busing. You could play, for instance, the year I played in Providence, we would play at home Friday night, and then you could travel 5-6 hours by the bus, play somewhere Saturday, 7 at night, and then you're coming back home to Providence, 5-6 hours playing there, 3-4 p.m. the next afternoon. So it's like not even 3 full days. So that was tough. And then, but the West, it's a little bit more spread out. They can't really do those 3-3s as often. So the schedule is a little bit easier over there. But I mean, it's still a grind. I think they play. It could be different now, but when I was last there, I think they played 68 games. There was no 3-3s at the time out west, but that travel's still tough, even when they're flying, because they're flying just regular, they're not flying private planes, so they can't just show up at the airport. Flights. Yeah, commercial flights everywhere. So you're still going and showing up at the airport, hours before, and then flying, depending on how long it is, and then you're still got a bus. Probably you're going only to major airports, so if you're not playing in a city with a major airport, you're bussing home from there too. So I mean, that's still a grind, but the only thing that's easier over there is that you're not playing 3 games 3 days. So that's the hardest on the body.
But when you first traveled here, like from St. Petersburg to Amur or to Admiral
or to Astana,
were you reminiscing a little bit about AHL days?
Yeah, I mean, the thing here is you always got a day between games. There's only happened a couple times a season maybe where you play back to back, but that rarely happens here. So the fact that you have a full day recovery in between each game, not a big deal. But the travel over in this area is definitely a little tougher when you deal with the time change coming from like the Moscow area, returning here. You can get in 7, 8 in the morning, and then it's kind of that whole day is thrown off. So that's a lot of times that's your day off, and you're not really able to relax, So
But we can assume that there's not a lot of practices in NHL. So you travel and playing, but there's way more practicing here in KHL.
Yeah, much more. In North America, I mean, the AHL, it's a little different, like I said, the travel-wise, depending on where you're playing. But the NHL, I mean, they're traveling as good as you can possibly have it. And there wouldn't be many teams like, skating at all on road trips between games. Maybe the odd team might have a morning skate here and there. Some coaches have completely eliminated that. A lot of coaches have, I think, now. But I don't know. I think it depends where you are over here too. I've had experiences where you practice a lot in between games throughout the season, and then different situations where they kind of prioritize rest and recovery and put all the focus on the games because that's where you need your energy.
We've heard the rumors about with the second coach that the team were practicing even on the road games.
Yeah, I was injured that entire time, but it's a lot. I mean, when you have this many games in a season, this much travel, it's to put that much work in day to day, in between games as well is tough, not only physically but extremely tough mentally. And if you're not rested in those areas, then it's extremely difficult to perform on the ice.
So before the season started, there was a video, another podcast, and Coach Skabelka was on it, and he said that the preseason practice is necessary to level everybody on the same level, because some players are on the high level and some coming with the extra weight, right, or extra slow. And so preseason practice is very crucial.
Well, like you said, like the training camps are, they're crucial. But I don't think anymore that there should be any player should ever come in out of shape, because the season ends April 30th at the latest, and then it starts again in late July. So I think the fact that we have to spend time like getting guys into shape and that is, it's kind of unacceptable, and it takes away from a lot of time where you can be learning systems or how the team should be playing tactics, things like that. But I mean, obviously there needs to be a component in training camp where you do some extra conditioning and you get into, everyone gets in better shape, not getting in shape, but rather than like, get in, like bring your level up a bit. Maybe guys haven't been on the ice a ton, so you're kind of getting back in game shape more so than just overall shape, and getting your hands and feeling back with your hands and puck touches and things like that, and getting as small as it sounds, like your eyes adjusted to the speed again, and pucks flying and guys going everywhere, so things like that. But then, like, once these seasons start, you still got to work on a lot of things throughout the first month, 2 months, because that's when you're playing the real games, and there still needs to be a lot of learning through those games. So there needs to be practice during those times of the year where you're going out and you're actually working on systems and details of the game that you need work on from the video that comes out of those games. So there's a fine line there. You want to manage the players and be able to be full of energy for the games, but you also need to teach a lot and get on the same page in a lot of different areas. There's a lot of areas of the game that you need to be dialed in and on the same page as a team, or else you're not going to have success. And then later in the season, everyone should be on the same page as a system, and then you really don't need to work on that as much. It's kind of just what do you got to do to be ready for the game, and mentally, physically, whatever it is. But you got to be in the right place.
I like the way Nelson reacts to unfortunate things. Maybe I'm idolizing him because I don't, obviously, I'm not with the team. But at the start of the season, when you got injured, when Sklen got injured, he took a lot of himself and put it in the game, and he scored like really beautiful and important goals for us. And yesterday I saw him, to get the autograph for our friend, and even if it was a bad game, like 2-0, he was kind of happy and not letting this to get into his mind. And mentally, I saw a strong person.
Yeah, very, very mentally strong and just total professional in the way he takes care of himself on and off the ice, and you know what you're getting from him, and that's a big thing in pro hockey, playing at these high levels. It's, you know, like, what are you going to get from each player, and for him, you know, you're going to get that work ethic every single night, and he's going to bring the same intensity, same energy, and do what it takes to win, and you know, he's only playing the game to have team success, and that's all he cares about. And that's what you need in your team, and you need lots of guys like that. So he's done a great job this year, and like you said, in all situations, he's kind of been thrown into situations he hasn't played in a ton of, and just hasn't really affected him at all, and kind of has thrived in every situation he's been in.
Yeah, because it's you can compare it with the pitch Yama. I mean, when you're on the losing streak, and it can be compared with the pitch, because you're just falling into this, and being able to mentally not letting yourself to fall into this darkness is a really important quality. And is there any maybe doctors in the team that can the doctors that you can talk with about this, like mentally?
No, we don't have like a mental performance coach here or anything that I've seen or anything like that. But I mean, it would be on guys to do that on their own time, and you know, there'd be in North America, like the NHL, where there's, you know, they got unlimited budgets and things like that. The teams would hire sports psychologists to work with players. But yeah, the mental side of the game is huge. It's like it's very overlooked all over professional sports, and the more you dwell on negative situations, then usually, you know, compounds into more negative situations, and then if you're not able to fight through it, then I mean, a lot of times you're going to find yourself fighting for a job or losing your job, because you know, that's the resilience you need to have as a professional athlete, is dealing with things that don't go your way, because no matter where you go, there's probably going to be some sort of adversity that you deal with, and if you're not able to deal with it the proper way, or a way that gets you through and gets you by, then you're probably going to be on the way out.
Team have a team doctor, Alexander Vitalich, who will give you pills in the plane, and you will
What
sleep.
kind of pills?
And you will sleep like a baby. So that's how it works.
So when I was younger, when I was a student, I was in a student organization, ISIC. What I learned in ISIC, that it is not неприлично. I'm sorry, неприлично. It's not okay to speak your language when you're in company with the person that doesn't speak this language. It's completely not okay. And I was actually in university, I was on international relations faculties, that maybe that's what I'm get this. Is it frustrates you, because you're here obviously in Kazakhstan and not many people speak your language. Even I speak like a 5-year-old in English. But is it frustrating when you're in a company and people start talking Russian and you not understand what they are speaking?
No, like, I mean, I'm in a country that's the native language. So I would never feel like that in this situation. Like, I understand, what you're saying and where you're coming from. If I was sitting here, three of us, and we were having dinner and you two just spoke the whole time together and like wasn't included, it would be like, it wouldn't feel great, but like that's just like, it'd be like having a conversation, like just having a conversation in the same language, and it's only two people, the third person is not involved in it. Then it's like, it's kind of the same thing. But it's just so hard to not do that in a team environment like this, where majority of the guys, they're speaking the same language. But I don't know, in a small setting, maybe it's not a great feeling, but maybe I should learn the language and then I don't have to have that feeling.
And this is your 16th season as a professional. And looking back to your career, you acknowledge that you traveled a lot, that you make a lot of new friends in different countries, in different regions, in different continents. Is there anything that you would have changed in your career to achieve more or not to experience?
You always have things you look back on and wish I did this, but like nothing major. Like, obviously you want to put, I thought I trained hard and worked hard my entire career, but you look back and maybe if I just focused a little bit more on this and a little bit more on that when I was in my younger professional years, maybe end up playing a little bit more, more games in the NHL or spend more time there. But had such an unbelievable career so far, just experience-wise, and very happy with when we decided, my wife and I, we decided to come to Europe when we did, and like no regrets there at all. Thought that was, looking back, it's turned out to be great timing, and we enjoyed ourselves in Helsinki for a few years, and then ended up going to Russia last year, and it was a great experience, and didn't work out like in St. Petersburg how I hoped, but then you end up coming here, and the rest of the season went really well. You want better success on a team level, but just welcomed here with open arms, and had an unbelievable welcoming, and felt like it was such an easy place to come into and play, and fans are just so passionate and loyal here, and even you see this year, like it's not gone well on the ice, but then I've been watching most of the games, but you're still up there feeling the energy, and the games where we're in it and we're doing well and we're scoring goals, it's amazing, the energy. So it's just like you want to be here when the team's having success and winning, because the place would be insane.
When it's playoffs, it's always insane. When it's playoffs, it's always,
Yeah.
So you travel with your family, right?
Yeah.
Have you tried to go on the south of Kazakhstan to Almaty, for example, when you have time, or maybe some break with your family, because we have that
ski resort.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, I haven't got a chance to get there yet, but we would definitely dying to get to Almaty, and I won't be skiing. It's just a little bit a little bit too dangerous right now. While you're playing, you don't want to risk an injury. But I'd love to get there, get my kids, and my wife would love to get on the skis. So it'd be nice to get them there, experience that, just see another city in the country. I've heard great things about it, and anytime you're near the mountains, it's always a little like a different feeling, different vibe. So it'd be cool to see.
And we were both from Almaty. I came here like 7 years ago, but we have this open rink in Almaty. It calls Medeo. Open
High
rink.
altitude.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
on high altitude. So yeah, I don't know who or whether to tell you, but Almaty is the best city in the country.
Is it? You guys ski there?
No, I'm playing football. I'm playing soccer even in the winter.
And StarCraft.
StarCraft.
Yeah.
Yes.
In Baris, there is always one big persona in defense. I mean, always one big defense player. When I'm saying big, I mean his
Personality.
for example, Dalman, Dietz,
Ohtama.
Ohtama. He played well. He actually came from Jokerit, right?
Akbars.
Akbars. Yeah, my bad. So now it's Sklen. For sure, he fan favorite and he performed very well. So, is there any negotiations with Mr. Alex Grant for the next season from Baris' side and from your side, obviously?
Yeah, no, I haven't heard anything yet, but we'll see. Hopefully able to get something done. It's been this year was kind of, I mean, as disappointing as it can get. So wouldn't want it to end on this, on this. So hopefully something will happen and can have a little bit of a revenge year next year.
Okay, it was a pleasure for us to have you, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for having me. Appreciate it.